Oh, I forgot this is a hot mic. Hey, if anybody's there, howdy. Hey, oh, hey, Mason, how's it going? I think I'm here. It's all jittery. I'll tell you what, I am so disappointed in Windows. Again, I mean, I know that Windows is the reason that I like switched to Linux on desktop for a long time, and then Linux let me down with its audio issues. But I don't know. Oh, it feels it looks jumpy. It's probably like choppy video here too. I was when I recorded the video that went live last night, the camera on my Wacom display, so this one right here, it didn't look like it while I was recording, but it was all jittery and glitchy, and that was a little frustrating. So yeah, I don't know. I just get so frustrated with technology. And I know that technology is like, oh, that's my livelihood, blah, blah, blah. But my goodness, can it be frustrating? So hello, everyone. How are you doing? It's been a couple weeks since we live streamed. I have nothing really planned today. I just didn't want to not live stream again. I actually enjoy live streaming. Yaman, nice to see you as well. Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think. What's an update on stuff going on? While I've been working and we've had lots of house guests, we had a former exchange student who lived with us when he went to high school from Korea. He visited for a week before he does his stint in the military. He's actually been back now. Let's see, he left and then he was going to go on vacation with his family. I think he's going to go in the military at the beginning of August. So, and then he has to serve there for 18 months. But yeah, he just came to visit. So that was cool. And then we had my niece who came up and visited just for a week, just for summer, for fun. We still have a former exchange student who stayed with us when she went to high school, and she's now in pre-med at Michigan State, and she stays with us in the summer. So she's here. So we just have a full house, even though all of our kids are grown. We still have our youngest is still living with us. I mean, she's in her 20s, but she's living with us. But yeah, for a couple of almost empty nesters, we tend to have a lot of people staying with us. So it's been a bit chaotic, but Mason, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, he's nervous. I love the kid, but he comes from privilege and he has very little motivation to do anything. So I don't think he'll have a choice in the ROK Army, Republic of Korea Army. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Martin, hello, it's good to see you. So that's why this month has been rough. I had a birthday on the 19th. So if I look, I'm sure I don't look wiser, but I might look older. Made it around the sun again. I'm now 40 years old. What else happened? Not too much else happened. Yeah, wow, that's didn't take very long to catch up at all. Oh, Google Drive. So if you've seen my rClone video on the YouTube channel about Google Drive, for a long time, if you paid for an account, you could get unlimited storage, and it was like truly unlimited, lots and lots of terabytes of storage. And you had to have like a minimum of 5 accounts, I think, in order to get that. But if you just had one, you still got to have unlimited storage, and it was only $12 a month. And for unlimited storage, it was really, really good, because with rClone, you can mount it like a regular, hard drive. And so that's how I had been storing, like for our Plex server, I had about 60 terabytes of storage. And then on my birthday, on the 19th, I got an email from them saying that I was past my 5 terabyte quota. So apparently they suddenly made it so you can only store 5 terabytes, even on a paid plan or whatever. So I'm migrating because I mean 60 terabytes is a lot of data. So migrating to Dropbox because Dropbox does have actual unlimited, storage, but it has to be the like enterprise or business or whatever, and you have to have a minimum of 3 users. And so, yeah, it's spendy, but it's like $864 a year. But then I can have unlimited storage and mount it like a drive on my Linux server. So it seems like, I mean, it's a fair deal, right? I mean, that much storage in hard drives with a bit of redundancy would be a lot. So yeah, I don't know. I'm calling it good. 20th birthday. Thank you. Yeah, I've had multiple 20th birthdays. So yeah, there's that. And let's see, I have not fully migrated yet. Let's see, minimize. Can I minimize that? How do I don't know how to minimize these. Oh, minimize. Minimizing the other window so that I can show. Yes, save. Let's get a browser open. What do we have for browsers? Let's get. All right. Let me switch. All right, so yeah, we're here. Make this default. Yeah, no, not going to make Edge my default browser. That's a scary thought. But if I go, is it my home thing set? No. All right. Kermit.brainofsean.com. So Kermit is my Austrian server. Yeah, it's in Austria. But anyway, so this is my townhouse traffic. This is where I am now. This is where BirdCam goes. I don't know. Oh, that's when I started live streaming. I only have like 20 megabit uploads, so I have to be really careful. So this little line here, this little line here is BirdCam all day. And then when we just started live streaming, this is the additional bump. We're up to about, 8 maybe megabits. So I'm still okay. But anyway, I'm not actually doing any transfer of the data to Dropbox. But here at my farm, if I do a steady transfer, it goes about 600 megabit. And you can see the upload and download are like right there because I'm actually downloading it from Google Drive and immediately uploading it to a Dropbox using rclone. And yeah, every day. So this here, let's click on this. We get, I think this is about a day, right? Yeah. So this is the past day. So every day I get about 6.5 terabytes downloaded. So I should be done by the end of the month. Yeah, my VM died over here on Friday for some reason. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm in the middle of doing. And then I have a couple other things that aren't my videos that are stored on Google Drive. And so I use my Cloud VPS, and it maxes out at 100 megabit, and it doesn't even come close to that actually, but I pay $3 a month for it. So I'm not like too upset. Anyway, and this is it gets about 600 and so gigabytes a day. So anyway, yeah, I should be done before too awful long. And yeah, that's the plan. So anyway, so is this working? Yeah, it is hard to know what to do with storage, and it's Google Drive was good for a long time. I think the Dropbox is going to be, reliable. They do keep adding the storage like they, like they're supposed to and stuff. But yeah, it's done. Have I ever done family sharing on Steam, like the video game platform? Are you talking about like that kind of Steam? No, I didn't know that was a thing. I have a Steam account. I so rarely play video games that I don't. My daughter actually uses my Steam account. I have Steam installed because that's what we use to play what do we play? Jackbox. No, but let's see. Here I am. Here, we'll look together. It's not going to show anything that I'm concerned about. So let's see. This is my account. So Sean Powers, there's a big surprise. Is it like an option somewhere in Steam? Oh, well, there's my friend code. I don't even know what that means. Oh, family. Oh, let's see. Share your Steam library with others. Once authorized, Steam users on shared devices may access, download, and play your available library of Steam game while you're not. Oh, wait. Okay, so well, now my question is, does that mean like just while I'm not using Steam at all, or like a particular game? Like, can we both be using Steam at the same time as long as we're not playing the same game? Oh, you can't get it working. I just saw that comment. All right, well, yeah, so who knows what the... Who knows? All right. Oh, yeah, but while you're using it, but I'm not sure, like while you're just the game or Steam in general. That's the question that I have. You can't use any game if the person is playing. See, that's just so lame, right? I mean, we buy individual games. That ticks me off. Mohammed, hello. I don't know what the first word was, but oh, so excited about this stream. Well, I don't get your hopes up too much because the stream itself, we don't do a whole lot. Oh wait, you can't use any game if. Yeah, I don't. So yeah, I mean it's still up on the screen, I think. But yeah, so Steam family. I mean, I guess it's nice. Like right now, just my daughter and I are both logging into the same account, and I just have mine in offline mode because I don't like hardly ever play. But in offline mode, I can still play games. I don't know. I can still play the Jackbox game in offline mode. I wonder what that is all about. It's really a bizarre thing though. If you, I mean, what is the difference between just logging in and logging out then with family sharing? I don't know. That seems lame. But they didn't ask me, so when they designed it. So library. Let's see what I have. Anybody want? Let's check out my library. What do I have? I have. These are the games I have on Steam. I have lots of Jackbox games. I have packs 1 through 7 or 6. There's probably other ones. And I have Quiplash and Drawful 2. VR games. I was really into VR for a long time. Some of these are pretty cool. You know, the simple ones like Space Pirate Trainer. If you haven't played Space Pirate Trainer, it's really, really, really fun. And then most of these are probably from, I mean, some of them I know about, like bought the big Counter-Strike packs. I used to like Counter-Strike. Yeah, and the Half-Life. It was the orange box, I think they called it, with all of the those original games. But Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 I bought. What else do we have here? I probably bought Peggle because that was fun at one point. Oh, the Quake games. There was a pack where you got a whole bunch of the original Quake games. There were some other ones that I bought. Unreal stuff. I think the Unreal Tournament stuff came with the Quake pack, but I'm not positive. You don't know Jack. I thought they were going to be fun. They're not quite as fun as the Jackbox game. There's probably a few other ones in there that I bought. The rest of them were, a lot of them were from Humble Bundle packs. So I don't know if you ever did that, but I used to be a sucker for the Humble Bundle packs, and I would just buy a ton of them. You can limit to what games they can play. Oh, I mean, okay. I guess that's cool. So like especially like if it's, I mean, if it's designed for family, yeah. So your kids, if they're younger, you don't want them to play like Left 4 Dead because they might have nightmares or something. I guess I could see that. Yeah, I guess I could see that. But my daughter's in her 20s and she plays games and I don't. So I don't understand why you couldn't both play the Steam system at the same time, though. That just seems like a really bizarre sort of limitation. Oh, let's see what else was going on in Day in the Life of Sean. So yeah, the Google thing has been a real bummer. That's what most of my stuff work has been work. Looking around my office. Oh man, my office is in rough shape. Rough shape. Here, I'll see if we can do the lyrics thing just to show you my office. I will stay here. I'm not going to try to do a like walk away thing like we did before, but let's see. Is this gonna work? No, I don't want to subscribe. Okay, is it working? Yeah. What? Oh, I only had it cover the. Oh, even that's not doing it. Well, I just can never get this thing to work right, apparently. Oh, wait. Oh. Oh, there. Okay. Oh. Oh, there we go. Oh, there. Okay. All right. Hopefully you can still hear me because I'm not moving. But anyway, yeah, my office hopefully you can still hear me because I'm not moving. But anyway, yeah, my office is completely trashed. Yeah, this is. I mean, rough. And a lot of this is because we had to have a place for our house guests. And a lot of this is because we had to have a place for our house guests. A lot of this was just stacked up in spare room, and now. And so a lot of this was just stacked up in spare room, and now it's in here. I may or may not have so much Kool-Aid. Rex, though. I may or may not have a problem. Purplesaurus Rex, though. It's been discontinued. Yeah, I'm a weird dude. Whatever. Oh, double audio. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. I didn't mute the thing, but I wasn't going to do much more than that anyway, so hopefully we're good. Yeah, double audio and double mess. So my office is currently trashed. I try to keep in frame decent, but you know, if you join the live stream, you get the full effect. And this is just the little talk on it. This is just the stuff that is leaking out from the rest of it. It's just such a mess. I'm so sorry if my office is like yours. It ends up being the place where, like, oh, what do I do with this? And I don't have like a good spot for it. It's just like, I'll throw it in my office. You know, that way it doesn't burden anybody else. And I'll just figure out what to do with it later. And later never comes. Oh, hold on. I'm on the wrong screen. Oh, no, it's the right screen. So anyway, what else? So it's funny. I got double audio this time. Last time I didn't have any audio when I did the mobile cam. I just can't win. And did you see, I don't know if you can, here, the lyrics that I use, now there's a subscription service, so I'm limited to like minimal amount of time I can do the remote thing, so that stinks. My wife ends up bringing the washing in my office to dry. Your office is in your car, okay. All right, this is the garden, you mean, like that's Britishisms for backyard, what we would call backyard, correct? Like when we think gardens, we think like carrots and turnips, but that's just like what you call the spot of outside next to your house, correct? Garden backyard. Okay, yeah. I wasn't like, I was just making sure I knew what I was talking about. So I end up with clotheslines full of washing. Oh, that's kind of funny. Yeah. So is drying clothes outside pretty common? It's actually not that common here, which surprised me because it makes sense, I guess, you know, occasionally, and some people do, especially probably if you're a little more rural, you might, but you don't very often see clothes on the line anymore. But I don't know why. And maybe this is something that we're doing wrong. There was a time in our lives where we did hang clothes outside to dry. I think that time was when our dryer didn't work, but nonetheless, it always seems to make the clothes like really stiff and kind of rough and uncomfortable. And so I don't know if that's just us. As much as we can, really. Okay, electric is expensive. Tumble dryers can be costly. Okay, cool. Oh, and Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Lisa's a friend of ours who, yeah, same thing when the dryer breaks. I think that's the only time that we ever hung stuff outside. And it was, and yeah, they just always seem to get stiff and unpleasant to wear. So I don't know. Also, maybe you know this, maybe you don't too. A lot of dryers here in the US are gas powered. So I think that makes them a little bit cheaper to run. I don't know if that makes them any quicker to dry things. It does see, if you're not used to the notion of a gas dryer, it does seem dangerous. And it still does to me too, because, so, I mean, I've always had a gas dryer. They're usually quicker and cheaper because not as good for the environment, I know, because you're burning gas to dry clothes. But dryer lint is also like one of the most flammable things in the world. And here we have fire, a big fire thing that's blowing, that's drying our clothes. So anyway, it is what it is. Gas powered dryer. Yeah. So I thought that might be the case because, I don't know that most are. I don't know. I don't know the breakdown, but most people, if they have the ability, get gas dryers because they work so much faster and more efficiently, efficient cost wise. Again, burning all the gas. I don't know if that's a great idea, but it is what it is. Same thing with water heaters. Are water heaters mostly electric? Where you are, like you're for hot water for the house? Because I think new houses tend to get electric hot water tanks, but generally, if you can, you get the gas or not, or the water heaters. Gas water heaters are generally more desirable. Same with stoves, and I know they made the news here recently for political reasons or whatever about gas stoves and air quality and stuff. But a lot of people use gas stoves still, gas ranges. The stovetop and the oven both. So anyway, yeah, what a crazy world. Need to use liquid fabric softener though, so they don't get stiff. Does that make a difference? Because I feel like we always did, and it's still, especially towels, and maybe we don't use fabric softener in towels because they don't dry as well, and that's why they're always stiff. But it felt like when we would take the towels off the line, it was like a cardboard sheet basically that we're taking off. So I don't know. I was always nonplussed with air dried stuff, even though you'd think it would be like the nicest, freshest way or whatever. So, Mason, I mean, you've been here long enough. No, this is par for the course for the for our live streams. What do we talk about? We were talking about, and it was your fault. That it's just you. It's you, buddy. Well, it was horses. Something about horses or ponies, or I don't even remember. Pony rides. I don't even remember what we were talking about. Okay, but we're going to keep talking about it, and we're going to make it techie. Are you guys ready for it to get a little more technical? Have you seen the heat pump dryers? A friend of mine on, I don't even know. Normally I would say on Twitter, but these days who knows what it is? Threads or Blue Sky or Twitter or Mastodon or whatever. But his name is Jer. Him and his wife recently got, I think they actually got an all-in-one where it's a washer and dryer all in one, but even the dryer is a heat pump instead of there's no exhaust even. It just does the thing where it's like an air conditioner, but backwards. So it gets warm on the inside and it like makes cold air come out and blah, 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 blah. But it, heat pump dryer, I guess they're very, very efficient. They use far less electricity than an electric, resistance dryer, but they do dry things slower. But even at that, the total amount of electricity used is much lower, and you don't have to have an exhaust at all, which is cool. Yeah, that is our age. Yeah, it was something about horses. I think you got like a horse ride or pony rides or something for a gift or something, or a donkey. Maybe it was a donkey or a mule. It was something about hooved animals, and it's so funny that Lisa's here. I don't know if you were here for that, Lisa, but Lisa is somebody who has had horses for a large, I don't know if she does now, but has had horses. And a few years, it's been quite a few years ago now. It was a donkey. Okay. But Lisa and her kids have had horses, and we went to their house for family photo, like for a backdrop for family photos years ago, because it was like wintertime. And, it's like, I mean, they had a farm and they had, cool outdoorsy looking stuff. And so we were posing in front of the fence, and the horse came up and viciously attacked. The horse tried to murder me and eat my carcass, which I may be exaggerating a little bit. He gave me a little nip on the back, but I'm so afraid of horses that of course I'm the one that he picked to like be curious about and come up and bite. So anyway, what was it? Smokey? I think the horse's name was Smokey. You have to correct me if I'm wrong, Lisa, but I think it was Smokey that took a slight chomp out of my back. Anyway, yeah, we really went off the tech rails there, but I missed this. Let's see. We got the government trying to get us to put heat pump central heating systems in our houses. Give me for free. Oh, dang. Wow. That, I think we might have had this talk too, Mason. And like you make just a little bit too much, um, like a little bit too much to qualify, which I mean, you don't want to complain like, oh, I make too much money, but like too much to qualify because that's significant, right? 10 solar panels and a heat pump system. That's pretty spendy. Well, you set up to 30,000 pounds. If I'm looking at the thing, right, which is even more than $30,000. And yeah, that's significant. And heat pumps are just so cool. They're like magic. I mean, it's the closest thing to tech magic we have. They're more efficient than they're more than 100% efficient. How's that possible? It's just awesome. It's so awesome. Oh, one kicked your wife. Oh, that's not cool. Oh, just spent 6,000 on a new LPG. LPG, is that liquid propane gas? Is that LPG, same thing? We did something similar at our farm, which I mean, now the farm is where my middle daughter lives, and where my micro data center is. But we ended up putting in our actual barn proper a heater, and then in the farmhouse, it had a really old oil burner, and the oil tank was underground and it had been there for like 30 years, and that's just asking for some environmental nightmare stuff to get cleaned up. And so we ended up we paid to have a really large propane tank. I think it's 1,000 gallons, maybe it's 1,500 gallons. I don't know. It's a large propane tank, and then had gas run out to the farm or to the barn and into the house. And then we got a high efficiency, again, yeah, liquid propane furnace. But that was before I really had learned much about heat pumps. If I would have known, if I knew now, or if I knew then what I know now, I would have probably still put the furnace in the barn. It was really cheap and we don't heat that often. But in the house, I would have just gotten a heat pump system with some additional, you can get things, resistive heating coils that go in the ducts for when it's too cold for the heat pump to be efficient, and just use, all electric there. Because I think there's even some incentives you can get for getting an electric furnace, and that would be counted. Heat pump is an electric furnace. So anyway, our house is in a village. I don't know about where you live either, Mason, but here propane is so much more expensive than natural gas. And I don't know if it's called natural gas everywhere, but methane that you get the lines underground, main gas, yeah. It's so much more expensive to get propane and have it delivered and stuff. Ogle, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Hello, it's good to see you. Yeah, boy, we've covered it all. More expensive, yeah, that stinks. Here in town, we have gas. We have natural gas piped right to it because we live I say city, but I mean, Petoskey is a pretty tiny town, all things considered. But for northern Michigan, it's a decent sized town, and we live inside the city limits. So we do have natural gas. We also have like water, like city water, piped to us instead of having to have a well. And then the city sewer instead of a septic tank. This is actually the first time we've ever had all that. Normally, every other house we've lived at, we've had a well and a septic tank. And like when we lived in Indian River, we had natural gas, but we didn't have city water or city sewer. It was a septic tank and a well. So anyway, the thing I like about the well, so I don't know how common wells are either around the world. I'm pretty sheltered, I guess, but in northern Michigan here, almost every well, water well or drill down to get drinking water, the water is amazing. It's like tastes really good, and I'm sure it's because we're surrounded by, the Great Lakes, all the fresh water around us. I'm sure the water system here is renewed quickly and often or whatever. But our water tastes really, really good in every place we've had a well. But I know some places when you like my wife's grandmother, when she lived at a house in Ohio, they had a well, and that was the most disgusting water. It was so vile. It had both high iron content and high sulfur content. So, I mean, it was like, I don't know if they tapped down too deep and got right into Hades itself, but my goodness, it just tasted like brimstone and oh, it was disgusting. So anyway, we are really lucky up here in northern Michigan. Our well water is generally really delicious, but that's not always the case. Even downstate, I guess the iron content in the water is pretty common. So, boy, I'd say we got off track, but we were never really on track, and we lost a lot of people on the YouTube stream, so that's all right. uh, So yeah, how can you tell when Sean goes down a rabbit hole? The little numbers up there, or are they up there in the corner, where they say like how many people are watching? Yeah, not too many, but that's fine. Um, I, every week I say I'd like to get back on track with recording stuff, and then it just never seems to happen. So yeah, I guess we should get back to Linux. Yeah, I feel bad about it. I did get the video uploaded yesterday. It was about firewalls, and so I've talked about this before too. It's always hard to figure out how deep to dive on a topic. Like, I don't know if you watched the video, but here, I'll open up the thing. So, yeah, this is just the PowerPoint. So here's why is this? Yeah, there. Pardon me here. We'll do that. There, it's like a real training video now. So I like talking about like a firewall, like, hey, it's it's on your playlist for tomorrow. I won't ruin it. Hi, Bite Moose. It's like people can sense when we're actually talking about around topic stuff. But like explaining how a firewall works is cool. I thought it was really, really bizarre. Here, let me there we go. I thought this was an odd addition to like how firewalls were. I guess use case. I guess that makes sense. But like I could talk, like we can make a whole video. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong camera. We can make a whole video on setting up network masquerading, right? Using network address translation and IP tables and setting up masquerading. What is it? Masquerading. I guess it's just called masquerading. I feel like I'm missing a word in there, but for network address translation. And but it's almost a throwaway thing in the list here. So I just kind of mentioned what it was because I think we covered when we talked about how to change kernel settings, we talked about that's the setting that I chose to show how to change. So I guess that was a coincidence, but we talked about it before. And then here, I thought this was weird too. I have to be honest, I had to look up like, wait, NF tables. I mean, net filter. I thought that was like BSD stuff. But apparently, NF tables is replacing IP tables in the kernel. This shows you how much, maybe now that Linux journalists know more, I don't stay as up to date on stuff, but apparently NF tables is replacing IP tables in the Linux kernel as the firewall thing. So I had to mention that, but then, I mean, look at the order here. Firewall D, IP tables, NF tables, uncomplicated firewall. I mean, I don't get it. These are the kernel level firewall rules. And then firewall D and uncomplicated firewall are both front ends. They're both wrappers around the actual technology. So I thought that was a weird order to have them in there. And then how deep do I go? I mean, IP tables, that could be an entire series, right? Because I mean, we're talking, the input table and the output table and the the masquerading table. I mean, I would have to look back up because it's the kind of thing where I don't do often enough to to do it. I might memorize like -J MASQ enough to get it working, but that could be a whole course on its own. Uncomplicated firewall is easy. Firewall D, I've never actually used it in production, but I don't know, explained it as best I could. And then the firewall features like zones. I mean, zones is specific to firewall D. services, we're talking like, instead of port numbers, talk about service numbers, and then stateful and stateless. I just thought it was an odd smattering of firewall jargon kind of thrown in there. I mean, why are these key firewall features? Well, I don't. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. So I don't know. What did I miss? Anybody? It was like, stop, Sean. We just watched this video. Stop talking about it. Do Linux server type firewalls able to check app ID? So generally no. I mean, there's probably software that will like deep dive, like what is it called? It's like packet inspection. It's going to be another software tool. At the kernel level, it doesn't happen. At the kernel level, not that I know of. I mean, the IP tables, and of course, NF tables is new. Maybe it has features that I don't know about. But no, generally you need some sort of packet inspection software to do that. And yeah, that's the thing too. You can go so deep on any Linux topic. It's really hard to reel myself in when it comes to Linux Plus, because I mean, I know the tests don't go that deep, but it's so broad that it's sometimes hard to figure out how deep you should go. So anyway, I figure as long as I mention every word in the objectives, that should be pretty decent coverage. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, if you wonder the toughest part of being a Linux trainer, it's knowing how much to teach. It's not necessarily like what to teach, because the objectives make that really easy, but it's okay, but how much about it do you want to know? Because like stateful and stateless, I just talked about like what the difference is, and then how too many stateful connections starts to use a lot of RAM and CPU. So, there are disadvantages for the advantages that statefulness can supply. I didn't mention this in the video, so this is just bonus content now, but, stateful connections make load balancing a little tougher too. I mean, you have to, be aware of stateful connections so you don't accidentally, try to redirect to another server, and then the server's like, wait, who are you? I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah. But then at the same time, stateful connections can facilitate that. If it's stateless, and you just like start hitting random servers, the computer's like, what? Who are you? I didn't issue this cookie. Yeah, anyway, see what I mean? How deep do you go? I don't know. Maybe that could be part of the live stream. Stuff Sean decided not to teach during the week, but he wanted to talk about more. Let's see. Alpha 6. I'm assuming this is meant to be Alpha or A7 Fa 6. Thank you. I appreciate that. I enjoy making videos. I wish I made them more often. I wish I was more consistent. Would I ever do live classroom type of training? So, I have in the past, not specifically for Linux stuff. I was okay. All right, boys and girls, pull up a chair. We'll talk a little bit. Back in, let me think if I can come up with the year. Maybe 2005-ish. That's just really a guess, though. Our school, so I was a tech director at a school from 2000 to 2012. I was the technology director in a school district here in Michigan, K-12, so kindergarten to 12th grade. And I don't know, I think there was a donor that gave us money to start a Cisco Academy, because it was this thing that Cisco was doing where they'd partner with schools or vocational places, and you could actually teach Cisco accreditation in a high school setting. And so kids were going to be able to get their CCNA in high school for free, because it was a public school. And so I was the technology director. I don't have a degree in education at all, but none of the teachers were interested in teaching the class, because I mean, it was, it's pretty high tech. And so there was this thing that we had to get approval from the union. There was like a form that had to be filled out. And then I became like a vocational teacher for the Cisco Academy. And so all that to say, that's the live teaching that I've done. Is I was a teacher, but I only had like 4 students at a time, and it was I enjoyed it, but it's a little bit different than a classroom of like 30, 40, 50, or a lecture hall full of people. I don't mind talking to a group like that, but yeah, I don't know. I do get easily distracted too, so that's doesn't bode well for live training either. I can edit out a lot of bunny trails in the pre-recorded videos, but anyway, what do we else we have? I'd like to see a few PC become a router. Yeah, I mean, you can do that now pretty easily with. I think Untangled is still an option out there, and there's some more. There's like Clear OS was there for a while, and oh gosh, and back in the day, I mean, well, you can still like PFSense. I'm actually using PFSense now. I just have it on a device, but there's a lot of, and that's not really Linux. That's using BSD, but like MonoWall and SmoothWall and IP cop, that might have just been a web filter, but there's a ton of distributions specifically designed for that too. So that's good. But in a pinch, you can make any Linux machine with multiple Ethernet ports a router. I mean, it's just not, you don't have to do masquerading either. If it has, I mean, it can be an actual router with a routing table, but generally you're doing network address translation. Any new courses? There are not that I've made. I'm still trying to finish Linux Plus, and my goodness, the video I put out yesterday for Linux Plus was the first in like 2 weeks because I'm such a loser. But I don't know what we're gonna do after Linux Plus. I was thinking Red Hat stuff, but now I don't know. Red Hat's so controversial and weird, and I don't even know if that's. I don't know what I would do there. I guess I could use actual RHEL because you can use RHEL, but I'd have to read really, really closely because Red Hat licensing is so finicky about stuff. Like when I worked at CBT Nuggets and I did the Red Hat course, I couldn't even say the word Red Hat or use any of their logos. I had to, call it the CentOS administration course. And now if I were going to do it, I would say Red Hat because they're not going to go after, me on a YouTube channel. But I don't know if like they allow you to have a certain number of RHEL licenses, like actual Red Hat Enterprise Linux that you can use. Like, I don't remember how many, like a dozen, maybe it's less than that. But I don't know if you're allowed to use those for like training or anything like that. So I don't know. I don't use Red Hat very often, but I've made training on it. So a lot of people really want Red Hat though. One of the most popular questions I get asked is if I have any RHEL training. And I just say no, because I don't. And I don't know what Rocky Linux and Alma Linux and Red Hat, and now I don't know. Did you see that SUSE is forking RHEL? So SUSE is forking RHEL. They're gonna, I don't know how similar it's gonna stay to RHEL, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. And then Oracle is doing something, but it's not like Oracle is a good guy in most stories, right? So, Martin, me too. I mean, Rocky Linux is what I have been using because Linux Plus, is vendor neutral, but it teaches, some topics it'll teach both. Like, for example, the one that we just looked at, Firewall D and uncomplicated firewall. Those are two different ways to manage firewalls. Firewall D is what RHEL uses, and that I've used Rocky Linux to demonstrate it. So maybe they'll stay close enough that training on, using Rocky Linux as a place to train will still prepare you for RHEL. But since they changed all the licensing stuff, I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen. Is it too late to become a DevOps engineer at 25? Like 25 years old? No? My goodness. Oh my goodness, no. 25 is so young. Man, when I was 25, what was I doing when I was 25? When I was 25, no, I guess I had just gotten the job at the school when I was 25. I was 24 then. No, I had 24 and I had my car accident. 25. When I was 25, when I was your age, I just got my first actual job at a school district. I was a tech director. Um, no, 25. My goodness, you're so young. So young. Start putting money away if you can. I wish I put money away for retirement. A little bit now. Put that money away. Oh yeah. About Linux Foundation cert. So yeah, you know what, Thaddeus, I might actually look at that one again because I know I've whined about it, and like my most popular video on um, my YouTube channel is like, what cert should I get? And I've whined about it there. I whine about it here. The testing process for the Linux Foundation cert that I took was so miserable. I didn't pass it, not because I didn't know the material, but because it just crashed constantly. And then the proctor, like it's a proctored exam, and you have to have like your webcam all, set up and like screen shared and everything. And all the tools were so buggy. It was such an unpleasant experience, and tab complete didn't work in the containers, and the path names were these long randomized characters inside the container. It was so poorly executed that at that point, CBT Nuggets was like, "Hey, so you did this one, would you do the next one?" And I'm like, "No, I don't, no way. I don't want to send people to get that. So maybe it's better." That's been quite a few years back. Um, So yeah, I'll look at the Linux Foundation stuff. Maybe I'll just like sign up to take the exam and see what it's like. And if it's better than it was, I will consider making a prep course for that. Yeah. Listen to Bite Moose. Yeah, no, 25 is not too young. Oh my goodness. Mason, also 40, looking to get into something new in IT. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. We joke because 40s. I mean, I'm in my late 40s now, but there was a time not too long ago where you would get a job in your 20s, and that's the job that you had until you retired. And at least here in the US, that is no longer how the world works. Nobody has that kind of longevity, or companies aren't loyal to employees, so employees in turn aren't loyal to companies. And yeah, I mean, nobody or very few people have like a one job anymore. So, and people change careers throughout their adult life. Yeah, we built the world weird, man. We messed it up. It'll be 9-year-old knows everything backwards and 1 million times faster. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Somebody's always going to be better. Somebody's always going to be younger. Somebody's always going to be faster. Somebody's always going to be willing to do it for less. Somebody's always going to get paid more. But it's a big world. So, I appreciate that. Yeah, there is I mean, the content, there's so much overlap. In fact, so one of the things I was, one of the last projects I had when I worked at CBT Nuggets was I was going to do, oh man, I don't remember. Oh, I think I was going to try to do after the split, because Linux Plus and LPIC 1 used to be the exact same exams. But after the split, the content was still so similar. My plan was to make videos, like combine all the objectives together, and then use like videos that would be like, this video is objective blah 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 for Linux Plus, or objective blah 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 for LPIC 1, and then like have different playlists like in order to like get them in order of the objectives, but then also cover both tests, because I would do LPIC 1 and Linux Plus and Linux Foundations, and the material was the same over and over and over. So I wanted to come up with a way, and especially since at CBT Nuggets we did short videos, I thought mixing and matching and making a playlist for a course would be a good idea, but it just never came to fruition. It was more complicated than it sounded. Anyway, different world now. Nothing gets better; it just changes. Yeah, Bite Moves. It's easy to get depressed about everything, including technology. As I started this live stream whining about my Windows machine, because if you haven't watched last night's video where I talk about firewalls, look at the camera on my Wacom display. It's all glitchy. Thankfully, the audio is good. If the audio was bad, I wouldn't have posted it. Bad audio is just unforgivable, but a little bit of glitchy video now and then, it doesn't bother me too much. Ogletan, want to be a DevOps engineer? Oh, here, it went off the screen, so I'll put it up here if I'm going to read it. Don't have any experience in IT or software engineering things. Yeah, so I know you're talking to Mason, not to me, but my thought here is IT in general. If Linux, if you can pick up Linux, and I mean, start, if you're not familiar at all, start with my my Linux Essentials course. That's the only complete course I have. Well, only exam prep course I have here on YouTube. But I think that's a really good intro to Linux, and it doesn't have any like prerequisites. Like if you don't know anything about Linux, that's fine. Watch those videos. It'll give you an intro. And then this Linux Plus course will be another next step. The thing about DevOps is I like DevOps stuff. I've taught a lot of DevOps courses, Ansible, Chef, Puppet, Docker, trying to think other DevOps tools that I've taught. I don't know, but there's a bunch. But the thing is, you should never automate something that you couldn't do manually. And so that's kind of been one of my adages forever, because I don't, it's a tough situation if you're using DevOps tools to automate and orchestrate, big infrastructures, and like, I use Kubernetes for all this stuff. But if you don't know what's happening behind the scenes, trying to troubleshoot stuff when it breaks is really, really, really difficult. So if you want to be like a really confident and valuable DevOps person, just know what's happening behind the scenes, and then let DevOps do all the heavy lifting. That's my advice. You use Fedora daily? Oh, good. So you're already confident with Linux and as an operating system. So yeah. Backend developer, then head to DevOps field, or can I start working DevOps engineer directly? So yes, I think that DevOps is this weird amalgam of system administration and development and just automation. So understanding some basics of programming is great. I think for using DevOps tools, it can be a pretty rudimentary understanding, because like for example, Ansible, which Ansible is one of the least programmatic of the like automation frameworks like Chef, Puppet. Ansible is more system administrator friendly in my opinion. But the programming and the code for the like books and stuff feels more like a complicated config file to me than it does actual programming. So even like Puppet, I think it's Puppet. It's either Puppet or Chef. Maybe they both uses Ruby code for their recipes and stuff. I guess recipes would be Chef. It's been a long time since I used Puppet or Chef, but they use Ruby code. I don't know anything about Ruby, but it just, if you think about it as configuration files, it's not too bad. Get examples and build off those. But yeah, I mean, development though is great. I wish I learned development when I was younger, because I've written some really complicated PHP stuff and some less complicated Python stuff. But having a programming understanding would have made some aspects of my career a little bit easier. So anyway. Oh yeah, that's true. And so OSI model, that was part of the CCNA course. I don't even know if CCNA is a cert anymore. Is the CCNA, is that a thing? It used to be CCNA and CCNP were the two that you got, but now there's all these like CCIE, and all these have different like modules and stuff. I don't even know the Cisco world. But back when I was teaching in the Cisco Academy, the CCNA, it was a great intro to networking in general. It was light on Cisco stuff, to be completely honest. It was more heavy on networking in general. I love that CCNA course that I taught was so thorough in understanding networking concepts. And yeah, there were parts about, programming a router, but yeah, the OSI model, it was great. Still a cert, okay. Let's see. I think going to get CCNA is something people say I have stuff but never use it. So I so I have thoughts here. The CCNA, and I'm just basing it on what it was like back in 2005, so almost 20 years ago now, 15, 20 years ago. But well, I don't know that I'm positive I never used my CCNA cert for anything. I learned more about networking when I took the CCNA course myself. Like before I was a teacher, I had to be certified. So I took the CCNA certification course, an accelerated course too. It was like it was, it was intense. But anyway, I learned more about networking in that course than I had ever understood. And I was assistant administrator at that point, and I was like, holy cow, I didn't know anything. So, yeah. Is it possible to find a gym remote in the same time zone? The sector is a little smaller in country I live in. Yeah, Ogle, I don't know. I haven't been job searching in a long time, and hope I don't have to, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah. Metan, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but just watch my Linux video. Oh, I don't know which one. That's pretty much most of what I make. So I hope you came here and you didn't start cussing at me. So so I hope it went well. Oh, which is about starting shell scripts. Yeah, good. Yeah, I like that. Those shell scripting videos. I use shell scripting all the time. I'm gonna ask the beginning of the year to allow MAC address through a firewall. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I mean, depending on the situation, you could have said yes or no, but nonetheless. Oh man, we're almost out of time already. It was fun. We started talking about Linux and it goes quick. Hey Scott, no, you're not a bad friend. If you wouldn't have grabbed your son from camp, you would have been a bad dad, though. So good job. Yeah, the shell scripting course is fun. I don't know what I'm going to do after Linux Plus. I don't even know if Linux Plus is ever going to end. I mean, I've probably been doing it over a year. No, I don't think it's been a year because I did Linux Essentials last year, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. We're almost out of time. Any other questions before I go? Yes, be kind. I'll tell you what, man, the world just needs to be more kind. Yeah, I'm a big fan of kind people. Oh man, your son went to a volleyball camp. See, I mean, we've probably had this talk. We're a volleyball family, right? My wife was a volleyball coach for over 20 years. All three of my girls played volleyball in high school. None of them played at college. I mean, they still play women's league now, but there was no opportunities for boys to play volleyball. And my brother-in-law, when he got to college, even though he had never played in high school, he got on several different college teams, and they were like nationally ranked and stuff. If he could have been in volleyball, not just hanging out in my wife's practices, but actually like in a volleyball program himself, I can't even imagine how amazing it would have been. So anyway. Yeah, being kind, not just our field, man. It's the whole world. The whole world just needs to be more kind. Well, I saw you on the network check video. I think back when Chuck and I were both at CBT Nuggets, he sat me down. Was I wearing a crazy shirt, like a crazy frou-frou shirt during the interview and a pink hat? I think he interviewed me about DevOps. My goodness, that's been a few years ago. We were so young. Anyway, good. I'm glad you found me here. I appreciate that. Caesar, a little bit late. Yes, that's all right. Hello from here. We're going to wrap up here in a second. My granddaughter is visiting because my daughter is out of town. So my son-in-law and my granddaughter are here visiting, and we're helping because he has to study for a different kind of test. He's a builder. He's got to take a builder's exam he's studying for. But Vassar was NCAA Division III national champs. Oh, nice. Yeah, my brother, I don't know what division he was in. He was in, let's see, when he was ranked, he was playing for Davenport University, I think. But I don't know what division they are. And that's been a couple of years too. He's an old man now. But anywho. Yeah, I guess that's it. I guess we're all set, all done. My goodness. Time flies. Anyway, thanks for tuning in and talking about dryers and heat pumps and Linux, and I don't even know what all we talked about. Firewalls a little bit. I always enjoy the live stream. We'll probably get more organized at some point. The summer has turned out to be really chaotic for me, but that's all right. Life goes on, and y'all are kind. Y'all are kind to me, so I appreciate that. And I guess with that, I will say I'll see you next time. And hopefully between now and next week, I actually have another video. We'll see if that happens. I'd like to get several Linux Plus videos done every week, not a video every couple weeks. That's the opposite of what I want. So I want to get done with Linux Plus. I'm kind of tired of it. Anyway, all right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Let's end with the thing. Learn everything. Do what you love. And most importantly, be kind. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. And I will see you on the internet or the Discord. Should I plug the Discord? I'll put the link. It's exactly an hour now, but I'll put the link. HTTPS Snarko Discord. Yeah, join us on the Discord if you're not there. And that's where, if I'm anywhere, I'm there. I'll try to answer questions there too. And everybody else is smarter than me there, so they can answer questions. And on that note, I'll see everybody later. Thanks again for tuning in.